Hello everybody and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2. We're here in Singapore for round 3. We've got an excellent grid today and I'm very happy to be in the box to bring it to you on the screen here. Hello to AP in the chat. He is back on the grid after a very long time, since he's last raced in either Tier 1 or 2. He raced in Elite briefly last season, but he's back on the grid on a permanent basis, hopefully, in Tier 2 for the rest of this season. So I am very, very happy. The founder of the league, and I'm sure we will all be cheering him on today on his grand return to the league that he created. Race looks dry. That's good to hear. Well, good to hear for the drivers, for sure, as I'm sure they would not have wanted it to be wet. So dry quali and a dry race by the sounds of it. Looks like Aces is out on track first, and he'll be heading off to get a lap in first of all. And we'll see what the initial pace is. There's a few things to note. So Maxim, the championship leader, not here today. His teammate Meliodas is here, but we'll be making a decision on whether to get Meliodas, P-Bent, maybe H1 Rot as well, whether we ask them to turn off some assists after this race. So this could well be the last race where we're uncertain of whether any drivers are going to get some assists turned off to slow them down a bit. So hopefully next race everyone will be on equal parity. Yeah, we've just got to see how this goes for now. Primeval, I don't know why he does that. His strategy always to go out on the hard tyres at the start of quali. But anyway, Aces coming through the final corner to start a lap of Singapore. Down towards turn 1, DRS open, brake at about the black marker board on the right hand side, down through 2 and 3, very quick set of corners, getting around that slow bend of turn 3 and down towards 4. Oh, he's gone very deep there, that's going to cost him a lot of time. DRS open all the way down towards the next corner. He's got a Williams just behind him, I believe that's Primeval. So hopefully they don't come together. Yeah, Primeval on the hard tyres. Aces into this slow section now of the circuit. A great section of the circuit, I think this is. This corner, very tricky. Aces gets it just about okay. And down towards what used to be the Singapore Sling chicane is now just a left-hander. And he's navigated that fairly well. You've got to be careful on the curb there and really careful on the throttle through the tunnel there, down the brakes, down the gears into the hairpin, and DRS open on the exit, a bit deep there from Aces, and then to this right-hander, brake at about the 100 board, maybe a little later, and getting on the power on the exit. This used to be a run down towards another set of corners. This year, just a straight line all the way down to the last chicane, and Aces navigates that fairly well, a little bit deep on the latter part, and then into the final corner, no brake open to the line. A 28.608 is the initial pace from Aces versus Kings. There's a Mercedes of Sumo just behind. And what about the Red Bull, I believe, of Meliodas? No, it's Tabo actually on an outlap. So it's going to be the Ferrari of H1 Rock, goes to P4 for now. I don't believe that's a representative lap time though. Meliodas coming through sector 2, he is well clear. Purple second sector. Sumo had a purple first sector though, so he's on pace. P-Bent, P3 on the mediums. RJ, the last winner in Singapore in Tier 2, he goes P4. Extract P5, Jacko P6, and here comes Meliodas, and that has destroyed everyone. A 27.3. Definitely some nerfs coming his way after this race, I think. Tabo coming through sector 2 at the moment in the V-carb as well. Purple second and third sectors from Meliodas. Alex G on a lap as well. I think that was the Sauber of Tia going to P7 just across the line there. I'm going to ride on board with Tabo, I think is going to be next across the line in the V-Carb. I don't know why we're following the Ferraris with that camera, but anyway, Tabo coming through. Definitely going to be supporting the PC guys of Tabo and Extract today. We had to spend quite a while getting them into the lobby, but they're in and raring to go, so hopefully they have good races, the pair of them. Through the final chicane goes Tabo and into the last corner, using all the ERS he's got left. Across the line, it's going to be a 29.5 to go P10 for now, as Alex G comes through sector 2 at the moment. We've got a purple first sector from Sheep, though, as he comes through the middle sector now. Not purple there, but he's got some serious pace. In that Alpine, does Sheep at the moment. Alex G coming through the middle sector and into the last couple corners now for the Mercedes team. His teammate up there in P3 at the moment. Here comes Alex, though, into the final corner. Someone's gone P2. That's Sheep into P2 in the Alpine. Alex G across the line. P3 beats out Aces and his teammate. It's a great lap from the Ukrainian, and he gets the best of the rest moniker by the looks of it. Where's AP? He's gone to P7. We didn't notice him on a lap. We weren't following along as he did his first lap in Tier 2, but he's up to P7, so he'll be reasonably happy with that. It's extremely close all the way down the grid, apart from the top two. We'll ignore them. Alex all the way down to Jacko, barely 6/10 in it between 3rd and 11th. And then a bit of a gap to Tabo, Primeval, who did his lap on hards. Lawrence, the defending champion, down in 14th, but he always recovers towards the end of sessions, so keep an eye on him. And then Krauser, H1 Rot, also, I don't think that's representative from him. With Robsu and Enchiladadad yet to get on the board. So no one improving at the moment. Primeval coming through sector 2. I think he just practices. I think he just uses qualifying to do a bit of lap practice on the hards. But it does wear out his hards unless he selects the harder tyre compound option. So yeah, I'm not sure. It's not something I've ever seen before in league racing. But, you know, who knows? He's been on the up the last couple of weeks. He joined the start of this season. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. H1 Rot on a lap. He's in sector 1 at the moment. Coming through the first few corners in the Ferrari. We'll see where he's going to be through sector 1. I keep an eye on my timing screens. Here we go. He's 2 seconds up, so this is much more representative. I figured that he wasn't quite with his actual pace yet. AP has left the session. Hopefully he can get back in. I'm not sure what's happened there, but H1 Rot through sector 2. Here he goes through the former Singapore sling, hugging the inside there, and through the tunnel now he goes into the hairpin. It's going to be DRS the sector split in just a second. Here we go to the sector line, 2.6 up. So as it stands, he's looking at a top 6 lap here, which would be very, very good, very strong on his debut. H1 Rock coming through the final sector now, into the last chicane, and through the final corner, all the way down towards the line. Oh, a big snap of oversteer and just about keeps it together, but it's only P12. He lost a lot of time there. I think that should have been top 5 for him, but he wasn't able to get there. Ace is up to P3. He's improved. Great lap from him. Sumo is purple in sector 1 though, in the Mercedes. He's coming into the middle sector now through the tunnel. He's looking very strong here. He loves a bit of Singapore. P-Bent as well. He's improving down towards the final corner. The other Ferrari also gets a snap of oversteer, but gets to the final corner and goes P4 in front of both Mercedes. But Sumo's got a point to prove, but he's lost time in the second sector. On his previous best, although still improving overall. Jacko also improving and goes to P6, splits the Mercedes, but Sumo will be hoping to get himself back up there. AP's back in the session, thank goodness, but here comes Sumo to the last corner, using that ERS that he's got left. It's a 28.3, goes to P4, just behind the Haas of Aces. Sumo very strong for pace by the looks of it at the moment. Alex G starting a lap. Who else is improving? RJ Blair improving by 0.2 in the first sector. Tabo also improving. Lawrence 7.5 up, but he's into the garage. So we'll cut back to Enchilada Dad, who's also invalidated, unfortunately. And Krauser also trying to improve, but we'll cut back to RJ. He's in the middle sector at the moment. He's coming to the end of the middle sector. We'll see where he goes. 60% ERS left. As he uses the DRS, 9.5 for RJ. He's looking for a front row start here. We've got an improvement from someone, I think that was Tia, going up to P8 perhaps. As RJ comes into the last couple corners, Tabo improves to P10, just behind his new teammate of AP. RJ Blair through the final corner, down towards the line. What's it going to be? It's a 27.9, goes to second place on the front row, and Sheep improves as well and knocks him back to P3. But RJ all the way up there. As Sumo improving. Alex G, who's improving at the moment? I'm having a look on my timing screens. Lawrence not improving at the moment. I don't think Alex is. No, he lost a lot of time in the middle sector, really pushing through the final corner there to try and gain it all back. And he did indeed. He did improve, but not in position. But he was 0.3 down on his previous best in the middle sector. So there's more to come from Alex. If he can find that time, he can get onto the second row perhaps and beat his teammate. Tier in the Sauber as well, coming through. Oh, very wide there, and that's going to be an invalidated lap. As ZTX Primeval has finally put on a set of the soft tyres. So we'll see what he can do. He's 0.2 up in the first sector. Coming into the middle sector now. Oh, a little wide through the Singapore sling, but not too bad. I'm still going to call it the Singapore sling. Into the hairpin, down the gears to first gear, second gear, but all the way down to first on the apex. And all the way down with the DRS to the next corner, 0.9 up. This could be a very strong lap from ZTX Primeval. He's looking at a top 10 position here if he can see this out. It's a huge improvement from him as it stands. P-Ben also, oh no, he's in the pits, excuse me. But yeah, looks like Primeval is going to be the first one across the line of those on track. What's it going to be? It's a 28.5 P8 for the struggling Briton, and that'll do him the world of good. He'll be very, very happy with that one. Alex G has invalidated and is coming back into the pits. And everyone else either in the pits or on an out lap at the moment. So riding board with H1 Watt, who I think still has a lot of pace left to unlock in that Ferrari. We'll see. It's yeah, a puzzling one for H1 Watt. He's coming through Sector 2 at the moment, sorry, just had to tend to something. But H1 Rot through the middle sector. Is he improving? Yes, 1.5 tenths up in the first sector. Aces also improving in Sector 1. He's a few corners behind the Ferrari driver. As H1 Rot comes through the hairpin now. It's going to be DRS open down towards the next corner. We're going to get the sector split in just a second now. He's 1.5 tenths up. So actually H1 Rot, not a fan of Singapore perhaps, is the newbie. He's coming down towards the final few corners now. Perhaps, maybe he did lose a lot of time in the final corner, remember, on his previous lap. So there is a lot of time to gain. I think he could still gain half a second here if he gets it right. He does get it right this time. And yeah, big improvement for the Ferrari driver. He's up to P7. That's much more like it. Let's go straight back to Aces, though, because he's 3.5 tenths up in the middle sector, down towards the line for the British driver. And it's, oh no, he's lost it all in the final sector. That's such a shame for Aces. He'll be devastated with that. He could have been P3 there. P-Ben also improving 3.5 tenths, or he was 3.5 tenths up on his previous lap, but he obviously abandoned it. Who else improved? Lap. Krauser just starting a lap. Robsu coming to the end of a lap, goes to P15. Closer to the rest of the pack, but not enough to get him too many positions. Enchiladadad, though, still not using any ERS at the moment in the Sauber. That's going to cost him a lot of time. DRS open, though, in the middle sector. It's going to be a 106.4 in that middle sector at the moment. Is anyone else on a lap? No one's improving according to my timing screens except Exterek. He's gone 1.5 tenths up in the first sector. And it's now Enchiladadad into the final few corners. He's finally going to get a lap in, but it's going to be without using any ERS, or perhaps it was another, I think it was a second out lap actually. Yeah, now he's starting a lap. Okay. Krauser improving as well in the first sector. Tabo, 2.5 tenths up in the first sector. Sumo, purple in the first sector. The Mercedes driver coming through sector 2. He is a master of that first sector at the moment. No one is catching him. P-Ben goes to P3 in the Ferrari in the meantime. A lightning fast second half of his lap. And a lot of people improving right now, all towards the back of the grid. Sumo still improving, 2.5 more tenths gained in the middle sector. He's 3.5 up overall. This could be P4 for Sumo. Is Meliodas improving? Yes, he is. He's purple in Sector 2, and he's looking like he's going to take pole by a wide margin. Sheep retains P2. Here comes Sumo down towards the final corner, and to the line. Oh, he lost a bit in the final sector, but it's still P5 for now. Aces improving in Sector 1. Meliodas goes to pole. It's an improved lap time of 27.3. Can Sheep get anywhere near it? He is improving right now, a tenth up. A lot of drivers gaining time at the moment. Jackalacco, we've got a Sauber of Tier into the pits. What about the other Sauber? Enchiladadad needs to get a time on the board. Through the final two corners he goes. And down towards the line. Here we go. Can he get a time on the board that's worth looking at? Yes, he can. Much better. A pressure lap from Enchiladadad, and he delivers. Jackalacco into the pits. What about Lawrence into the pits as well? Lawrence to P5 to P6 now because Alex has displaced him. P-Ben coming to the line. No improvement for him. What about Sheep coming through the final corner? Is there an improvement for him? Yes, it's pole position for Sheep. RJ Blair not improving. He's backed off. So it's all about Aces through the final corner. He improves to 6th place. What a qualifying session that was. Fantastic stuff. And wow, this is going to be an incredible race. Very much looking forward to it. Look at how close all those times are. Look at that. between fourth and 16th is less than a second. And then a bit of a gap to Robsu and Krauser, but wow, this is going to be an incredible race for the podium, I think. So it is Sheep on pole position with Meliodas alongside on the front row. P-Bent in P3 with RJ on the second, joining him on the second row. Then Alex in P5, ever improving. Aces in P6, Lawrence down in 7th today with Sumo alongside him on the grid. Then it's AP on his return, Extarek in the top 10, and then Enchiladadad, H1 Rot, Primeval, Jacko, Tia, Tabo, Robsu, and Krauser. The rest of the grid. So we prepare for the race start. We're going to have the formation lap and then we'll get going. But it's going to be quite the race, I think, this one. Very much looking forward to it. And away we go for the formation lap. Let's get all our data enabled. Let's have a look at the tyres. So it's mediums for most of the grid, but bucking the trend are Sheep, Primeval, of course Aces, always doing the alternate strategy. I don't even remember the last time I saw Aces go for the conventional strategy at any race. Primeval on the hards, and Tabo and Krauser also chancing it, starting on the hards towards the back of the field. But everyone else getting started on the medium tyres. I've heard in the paddock that the mediums are very, very bad at this circuit on this game, and they don't last very long at all. So expect the mediums to be quick for a few laps, but then the hards to quickly close the gap and become the better tyre within maybe even 10 laps or so. But yeah, I think Sheep getting off the line is going to be the interesting thing. How good is he going to be down towards turn 1? Is Meliodas going to be able to take advantage? P-Bent's there as well with RJ and Alex in P5. Looking for a way to gain any positions. I think the podium most likely going to be occupied by Sheep, Meliodas and P-Bent on pure qualifying pace, but the race in Singapore, a very different beast. So here we go, about to get underway for the Singapore Grand Prix in Tier 2. Hopefully. There we go. Are we getting started? Hello, game? There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we're underway for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's a fantastic getaway from P2 for Meliodas. P-Bent trying to go around the outside of Sheep into turn 1. Look at that from RJ down the inside of everyone into turn 1. He can't quite get it stopped in time, but it retains P4 after all of that. Alex G putting him under pressure into turn 3, but not going to be able to get around the outside. Sumo and Lawrence side by side through turn 4, the two arch rivals, but it's Sumo who stays ahead for now as Exterek tries to find a way past as well. It's Meliodas who leads into the next corner with Exterek down the inside of the defending champion. He makes the move stick, but Lawrence is there. AP's looking for a way through as well. Lawrence loses the place. AP trying to go around the outside. It's great to see him back on track battling again. Down the inside he goes, but he has to back out with Lawrence getting the better exit, but AP battling with the defending champion at Singapore on his first race back. I think he'll be ecstatic with how this lap 1 has gone so far. We've got Exterek up 2 places, Robsu up 3, what a start for him. Disaster starts for Jacko, Tyr and Tabo further down the grid. As it's Meliodas who leads. We've got yellow flags though. That's Tabo round in the V-carb. Oh no, I wonder if he's just binned it or if there's been contact there. I'm not sure. From Sheep by 1.3 seconds, in fact. Maybe a mistake from Sheep, maybe Meliodas just that fast as they come round the final corner to start lap 2. Jacko getting a time penalty though. Sheep getting a track limits penalty already as he comes around the final corner. Within 1 lap gets a track limits penalty, and P-Bent right behind him as RJ loses track of those top 3 for now. A big mistake from Alex out of turn 3, just about keeps the car pointed in the right direction, but lost a few tenths thanks to that one. And Ace is trying to keep up at the moment with Sumo right behind him. Extrack and Lawrence trying to pick their way through, as well as P-Bent down the inside of Sheep for turn 6. He makes the move, I think that's turn 7 actually, and Sheep under pressure from RJ now as well down the inside of the next corner. Sheep manages to hold it round the outside, but is struggling for race pace on those hards as it stands. We'll get tyres back on the screen. There we go. So Sheep on the hards. Ace is doing very well on the hards as it stands, but goes a little bit deep there through Singapore Sling, but not too bad for him. A DRS is enabled this lap. I don't know if Ace has got it there. The activation point was just there, and Sumo is going to have the DRS. Nothing for Aces. Here comes the Mercedes driver. He's going to look to the outside. Aces squeezes him out. Very good defending there from the Haas driver as RJ and Alex go wheel to wheel. Someone's gone round in the background. That's AP. Oh no! In the V-carb on his grand return. He's down to 16th and goes down where his teammate is. At the rear end of the grid, Jack Alaco all the way down after serving that penalty in the pit lane. That's a shame for him. As now Sumo on the warpath, trying to get past Aces, Lawrence and Exterek side by side again, and this time it's Lawrence who makes the move, but Exterek is going to have the inside for turn 4. Can he make this stick? I think he's going to. Lawrence is going to sweep around the outside, both drivers leaving room. Great respect, great racing, and it's Lawrence who gains the position, but H1 Rot looking to take advantage as Sumo makes another place. He's up to P6 now, past the hard tyre Haas of Aces. And Lawrence is just about staying ahead of Exterek and H1 Rot for now. Enchiladad in the hunt as well. Very close up and down the grid. Some great battles going on here. As Aces still just behind Sumo, who's gone a bit wide just up ahead there. As RJ chases after Alex in the other Mercedes, doing a very good job at the moment in P4, but just can't quite keep up with Sheep. Consistently at the moment. The race pace definitely in the Alpine's favour, as well as Meliodas and P-Bent, of course. But Alex just about ahead, and just about in the DRS, keeping ahead of RJ, but he'll be wanting to get clear of that DRS range. Lawrence down the inside of Aces into the final chicane. Aces tries to hold the position. He's going to have to back out surely at the final corner. They're going side by side. They've made a bit of contact. Somehow they're both facing the right way. Lawrence has a bit of a wobble as they go down towards turn 1. It's nearly 4 wide. H1 Rot points his nose in. Lawrence forced off the track, unsurprisingly. He gets back on. on, and he goes around the outside of Aces and keeps that position, but he's down the inside of Extract now for the next corner. This is amazing racing. What a move from H1 Rot. He did nothing wrong. It was just 3 wide into turn 1, didn't go, and how on earth they've all managed to get through that unscathed, I do not know. Fantastic racing. Ace is looking to the inside of the next corner, can't quite make the move, and Enchiladas there. Sheep has retired from the session. He has binned it, I think, and that's going to be a VSC. Yeah, he's definitely binned it. There's the stricken Alpine, but it is a VSC now. We're under yellow flags. Jacko would have been hoping for a full safety car, as would both V-Carbs, I imagine, but only a virtual. So lap 4 here. And the race slows down a little bit, neutralised for now, for the next half a lap or so. Alex now finds himself on the podium, just in front of RJ and his teammate. H1 Rock quite a way back after that tremendous battle in the midfield for P6. But we're split, I think, into about 3 groups here. We've got the front group, of Meliodas and P-Bent, and then we've got Alex down to Sumo, and then H1 Rot down all the way to Tier, and then you've got the back markers. So interesting stuff here. Jacko straps on another set of mediums. Tabo gets a drive through for speeding under the VSC, and that's just added insult to injury. But what a move at the VSC restart from Lawrence. Makes that position, takes advantage of a poor restart from H1 Rot. There's a Sauber round in the background. I think that was Tier. H1 Rot next to X, side by side through turn 4. They've made it through. Brilliant racing between those two. And Lawrence as well, up to P6. Tabo retires in the pit lane. He's had enough. That's such a shame. I really feel for him. That's very undeserved, but Primeval getting past Enchiladad now. They're side by side down towards the next corner. There's a bit of contact. I don't know if that was Primeval understeering or Tier not leaving, or Enchilada not leaving enough room, but they've just about gotten away with it. Primeval in a Sauber sandwich right now. He's got Tier right behind him as they head to Singapore Sling, but they've all gotten away with it for now. And this is some amazing racing up and down the grid here. I feel for Tabo. That's not the way that anyone would have wanted his race to end. But, you know, after an early spin and then a drive through under the VSC, he's decided enough is enough on lap 5 here. But down towards sector 3 they go. H1 Rot right behind Extarek at the moment as they head into this chicane. The Ferrari getting a much better exit. Tier the next one to get a track limits penalty, but through the final corner, H1 Rot just a little bit of a worse line. He struggled with that final corner in qualifying as well, so it's not surprising to see him also struggle in the race. That'll have definitely been a track limits warning through turn 1 there, as Extract tries desperately to stay within the DRS of the defending champion and does so. So he will have something to defend with from H1 Rot, and it's a huge error from Lawrence just ahead. RJ makes the move to P3 on Alex meanwhile, but Lawrence under pressure from Extract here after his mistake, but just about keeping ahead as Enchilada and Robsu go side by side as well. Robsu keeping the position. What a start from the Finnish driver. He's had a great few laps to start off this Grand Prix. Qualified down in 17th, I believe, or maybe 16th, 15th or so. And he's already up to P10 and looking good out there. As it stands, all but one driver would get points. It's points for the top 15 in APPF1, if you're not familiar, as there's a big mistake from Enchilada into the back of Robsu there, late braking from the Sauber driver, but he's going to have an opportunity here around the outside. No, he backs out sensibly and perhaps sportingly after the tap into the hairpin. Primeval fighting alongside as well, doing well on those hard tyres. As the front runners take us onto lap 7. Tier trying to find a way through as well, but nothing he can do at the moment. Those hard tyres looking pretty good at the moment. They may be a little slower than the mediums, but they're going to come to them really quickly, as I've heard in the paddock. Enchilada going down the inside for turn 1 of Robsu, but has to back out. Great defending from the Aston Martin driver from Finland. Enchilada's going to have another go here, but Primeval's right behind looking for an opportunity as the Sauber driver takes a poor line. Could be an opportunity, but Primeval's out of VRS, and you can see him losing that straight line speed as a result down towards turn 6. And he has to back out, but Enchilada with a big mistake on the exit just about gets away with it. I think there was a bit of a chain reaction of contact there. No one's got any front wing damage according to my telemetry, but I'm not sure if that's true. P-Bent's out! P-Bent out of the session. We've got another VSC. Jack Halako's going to be fuming that it's only a VSC. I think he's done exactly what I did a few seasons ago in Elite at that very corner in a season where I had 6 second places in a row to start the season, believe it or not. And then we came to Singapore. I was running in second again. And then down towards the hairpin, I locked the rears. I just locked the rears and careened straight into the wall exactly like that. And I think that's exactly what's just happened to P-Bent there. So that's a huge shame for him, but it provides a massive advantage for Meliodas. And all the drivers on the mediums will get to pit now for some fresh tyres. Yeah, indeed. Everyone in except for Aces on those hards. Lawrence getting a time penalty under virtual safety car, so he'll be able to get that warning removed. So keep that in mind. Primeval stays out as well, of course, on those hards, and now is in second place in this race as Meliodas exits on the hard tyres and gets underway again in P3. He'll be chasing after the top 2 now, who have yet to stop. But all the medium runners into the pit lane at this juncture. We've got Tier double stacking with his teammate, losing a huge amount of time as a result, and replacing his front wing as well, it seems, as everyone exits the pits. Krauser, the only one to buck the trend. He's going onto the mediums from the hards, going for a bit of a gamble here. But Jacko way too far behind to benefit from this, unfortunately. Oh no, we do have a full safety car. Okay, it still says virtual on my screen on the top left, but it is a full safety car. So Jacko will be able to get back into this race. And now nearly the entire grid on the hard tyres except for Krauser. I would have thought Jacko will come in. No, he stays out on the mediums instead. I think that's a mistake. I think he should have gone back onto the hards, personally. Maybe he just wants to catch up to the safety car and then he'll pit. So maybe he'll pit at the end of this lap, who knows. But we do have a full safety car out there now. 3 DNFs from this Grand Prix now, and that means that everyone who finishes this race now will get points. Points for the top 15, 20 points for winning the race, all the way down to 1 point for 15th place. And of course the extra point for the fastest lap, which is currently held by Meliodas, to the surprise of no one. So Aces leads this Tier 2 race, the first time he's led a Tier 2 race in a little while, I think. I think certainly since last season. So he's doing a good job out there. He's yet to stop, of course, as is Primeval, but both of them have gained have quite a lot to gain from this. If they keep those hards going, I hear the hards are a very good race tyre, so they should be okay for a while. And then they can come onto the mediums later in the race and try and gain back as much time as they can on that faster tyre, although I don't know for how long they're going to be faster for, so they might have to take those hards quite a long way. Safety car leads us around. Jacko stays out again, so he hasn't taken this opportunity to come in. He really doesn't want to get left behind by the safety car, I think that's the thing, but he's surely not going to gain anything either by staying out on those mediums, you would expect. But perhaps hoping for another safety car, which I wouldn't be surprised to see. Although having said that, it's been a while since we've seen a safety car in any APPF1 race this season. I don't think we had any in Japan across all 3 divisions last week. Well, Of course, we've had one in Singapore now. Qatar was the first race of the season, and we did have one in Tier 2 in Qatar, but I think that was the last safety car that we've had in APPF1. So, you know, I think 6 races across all 3 divisions with no safety cars, not bad at all, to be honest. Sorry, 5 races, but still, I think that's pretty good going. So, good job, APPF1. But safety car is in this lap, so Aces will lead us off. He decides when to go. As soon as that safety car comes into the pit lane, Aces can decide to punch it and head off under green flags and lead this Grand Prix. Primeval will be trying to keep Meliodas behind. That's going to be much easier said than done. Aces coming around the final chicane. When's he going to decide to go? Riding with Primeval to try and see. Aces has gone just before the final corner. He's caught Primeval unawares. Certainly Meliodas caught unawares there as they head through the final corner. But everyone getting through cleanly. Lawrence looks like he's right behind Alex, perhaps looking for a move into turn 1, but thinks better of it. So Mercedes, I think, used some ERS to keep him behind there as they head into turn 3. Single file across the whole grid. No positions being exchanged at the moment as they all funnel through turn 4 and down towards turn 5 and 6. Meliodas right behind Primeval. He needs to clear these drivers as soon as he can, but I'm sure he won't have too much trouble doing that. Primeval braked very late there, nearly into the back of Aces into turn 6, but they've just about gotten away with it. Through turn 8 now, this tricky corner, all 3 of these top 3 drivers going wide there, as Meliodas looks for a move, but is not going to go for it into the Singapore sling. He's got some patience, does the Spaniard. He knows there's no point in going for it right now. He can afford to wait at least a few more corners before he really starts to send it on the next lap, as Primeval's already losing a second to Aces. The next lap will have DRS enabled, so that should give the opportunity for Meliodas if he doesn't get it done already here. He's going down the inside in the Red Bull, but Primeval not going to let him go that easily, using ERS himself to keep the Red Bull behind, and Meliodas going to have to live to fight another day and wait for that DRS to come on this lap here. Through the final corner he goes. Look at this overspeed though. It's a much better corner from the Red Bull driver who started this race from pole position. He's back into P2 as Robsu and Sumo go wheel to wheel. Robsu getting up to P9, and he's having a much better race than his qualifying pace suggested. So he'll be very happy with how this is going so far. RJ getting past Primeval as well. The Williams driver struggling to keep all these faster drivers behind. RJ's going to have the DRS as well, but so is Primeval. He's going to look to the inside here towards turn 6, sorry. He barges RJ wide. RJ's not going to be too pleased about that one, but Primeval keeps the position, and RJ down the inside of Alex to keep that one. H1 Rot and Exterek swapping positions in the meantime. The newbie up to P7, and Aces has finally succumbed to the Red Bull and nearly goes into the wall himself at Singapore Sling. Dear oh dear, RJ comes through in the meantime, staying ahead of Primeval. He's retaken that position and he's back up to P3, and now we'll start chasing after Aces as long as he doesn't give Primeval another shot here. The Williams driver doesn't go to the inside and stays sensible. He does the British driver, who's definitely on the up. He's only been in APPF1 for 3 weeks, but already we can see the improvement that he's getting, and it's great to see. Alex G just behind him, looking for a way past, but can't find it into the final corner. Primeval staying ahead for now, with Lawrence now right behind them. You can hear the Jaws music as the defending champion looks for a way through. There's contact between the two ahead as Primeval turns into turn 1. Lawrence finds the gap and goes down the inside. It's going to be Primeval on the inside towards turn 4, but Lawrence is going to get that move done. H1 Rot also getting past, and Primeval is shipping positions left, right and centre here. He's got his teammate just behind as well, who will surely let through. No, he doesn't let him through. Primeval staying ahead. He's got a track limits penalty now as well to his name, and Sumo's looking on, looking for a way to get through as well. I think he'll be disappointed given his qualifying pace with how this race has gone so far for him. Will Sumo. We've got the two Williams again, nearly going side by side. Exterek looking for a way past his teammate, who's costing him time now. These two clearly not in a party together. There's no teamwork going on here. Primeval keeping his teammate well behind him. Extrek will be wanting to get this move done here. He's using the overtake button. He looks to the inside and he sends it into the corner as well. Does he get it stopped? Yes, but Primeval switches him back. It's beautiful racing from both. Primeval just using that switchback and the overspeed on the exit and stays ahead. Exterek has to back out and stay behind his teammate. All the while they're losing a ton of time to H1 Rot, and Exterek is going to be frustrated about this one. Sumo looking to make a move as well, but look at this, much better exit out the final corner from both of them. Exterek down the inside of his teammate but has to back out, and Sumo's going to sweep around the outside of turn 1. Through turn 3 they go. They're still side by side, these two, but it's Sumo who gets his way ahead, and Primeval has cost his teammate a position. No matter, even with the 2 seconds they lost to H1 Rot, he's now lost a position to Sumo as well, and Sumo has the DRS as well to defend, but it's not going to matter. Extrak's going to send it anyway into turn 6. They're still going to be side by side, room left between both drivers. This is amazing racing between these guys. Sumo down the inside, he's still got the position for now. Exterek the inside for the next corner, and there's contact, and Exterek is round. I think that was always going to happen, trying to go side by side into that corner. Sumo's going to be saying, why on earth were you there through that corner? Oh, and he spinned it himself. Oh, Sumo under no duress. Just after that collision between himself and Exterek, he has just gotten too much to the curb. He's lost his front left end plate as well, and he's going to be devastated with that because he was running really well. And he's down to P14, and he'll be among those hoping for a safety car here. Jack Alacco, by the way, up to P11 as Alex, the next to get a track limits penalty. As RJ chases after Aces, he's caught up to the Haas driver. Aces running very, very well on those 13-lap-old hard tyres. RJ, of course, is a very, very strong driver at this track. He won here in Tier 2 the last time we raced here. And who was in P2? It was the man right ahead of him. It was Aces, and here comes RJ now, the American driver, up to second place. Easy pass with DRS, and in the background, Lawrence getting past the Mercedes of Alex for P4, the defending champion on the warpath, as Robsu and Primeval swap places. Robsu trying to be the next one to get past this Williams. Primeval forces him wide again at that corner, and Robsu has to back out. AP looking for a way past, but Primeval very stubborn, trying to keep his position at the moment. But look how much time they've all lost to H1 Rot. 6 seconds they've lost to the top 6, and Primeval, well, he's doing a great job at keeping them behind. There's been a couple of dodgy forcing off the track a couple of times. I don't know if the drivers will be too happy with that, but he's done his job. He's kept these guys behind, but one of those guys was his teammate, so maybe not so ideal. But if he'd let his teammate through and kept the rest behind, then it would be brilliant teamwork from the V-Carbs. Someone's round. We've got yellow flags. I think that might have just been damage. Someone's got damage somewhere in this mid-pack, I think. Or maybe this pack someone got damage. I'm not sure. I can't see any damage on... Oh, no, there is damage. It's damage to AP Palfs, I think. No front left end plate on that V-Carb, and he's going to have to come in for repairs, I think. Yeah, no end plate there on the front left. That's what the yellow flag was for, and Enchilada Dad's going to be looking to take advantage of that one. Lawrence and Aces go wheel to wheel in the meantime. Aces taking that position up to P2. He is flying still on those hard tyres. Lawrence is trying to get himself into second place to try and speed away from the rest of the pack here. But Aces and RJ not making his job easy, and Alex and H1 Rot are just behind as well, looking for way past. Primeval somehow keeping all of these drivers behind. He must have pretty low wings on that Williams, but nothing that Robsu can do about it at the moment. Yeah, he's just having to stick behind. It's so difficult to get the move done in Singapore on a slower car. And through the hairpin they go, and Robsu again has to stay behind, but here comes the damage-stricken V-carb of AP. Brakes early though, he knows he's got damage, and well, he's coping with it at the moment, which is good to see. But he's still having to stay behind Robsu as Enchiladadad looks for a way past. They're all side by side going down into the chicane. Enchilada on the inside of the second part of it, but AP squeezes him out and stays ahead. Jackalacco looking for a way past as well. There's a time penalty for Enchiladadad as he goes very, very deep, and Xterek and Krauser and Jacko all getting through, and the Irishman all the way back down to 13th place as a result of that. AP Pals though, he is flying despite that wing damage as Lawrence and Aces go wheel to wheel again, and this time Lawrence gets past. Hello Palang in the chat, good to see you, man. And Lawrence up to second place. Robsu, finally, can he get past Primeval? He's forced him very, very deep. They've both gone deep, and Primeval loses a bunch of positions as a result. Primeval nearly into the side of Jacko there, and now Xterek is right behind his teammate again. Krauser getting past Enchilada as well for P12 on those medium tyres. The Sauber driver having to stay behind. Xterek down the inside of the Singapore sling. Oh my goodness me, how did they both get through? How are they still in the right direction? I think there's damage to the Williams of Primeval. I think Robsu and him, they came together last week in Japan. They're not particularly friendly with each other, I don't think, these two, Primeval and Robsu, but this time it's Robsu who got his way past, and that's a beautiful switchback from Xterek on his teammate as Krauser now tries to find his way through. There's serious damage to that front wing of Primeval, and Krauser into the back of him as they head into the corner. I don't know if there's damage to the Alpine now as well, but Enchilada trying to take advantage, and Primeval staying out with that damage, and as a result, easy pass for Krauser down the inside. Alex G getting past RJ as well as Lawrence just catapults himself into the lead of this group. Meliodas, we'll ignore him. He's going to win the race. Ignore him. This is the battle for the lead. As far as I'm concerned, there's contact between the Ferrari and Haas of H1 Rotten Aces. And, well, there was amazing racing and battling in the first half of this race. Absolutely incredible stuff. And I think there's damage to Lawrence, perhaps. That yellow flag came out, and I think he might have made contact with the wall, but there's no visible damage. He might have gotten away with it. That's very, very lucky for the defending champ, but he lost a ton of time, and he's now back down to 5th again after being 2 seconds clear of this pack. But Alex up to P2 now, RJ into 3rd place and hasn't got a penalty, as well as Aces. But yeah, this was fantastic clean racing for the first half of this race, and now as we get to the business end, things starting to get a little ugly up and down the grid at times. Meanwhile, Xterek getting his way past Jacko for P9, and the Williams driver doing well at the moment. Those hard tyres, I think, getting the better of those 13 lap old mediums. I think Jacko's going to be starting to struggle on those tyres now, and might fall backwards into the clutches of Krauser and Enchiladadad. Primeval now 2 seconds down on the rest of the drivers, and he's still yet to stop as well. He's going to be desperately hoping for a safety car to come to his aid here. Meanwhile, Sumo as well a long way behind, and Tier as well. I'm not sure what happened to Tier. Must have had to repair wing damage, but another poor round for the Saubers at the moment. Still a long way to go in this race as the other Sauber of Enchilada gets past Krauser. Krauser trying desperately for the switchback, but loses the rear end and has to concede. H1 Rot Right behind RJ into the hairpin, nearly hitting the back of the Aston Martin. Lawrence trying to take advantage of that. Here comes the McLaren round the outside of the Ferrari. H1 Rot squeezes him. Oh, squeezes him a little too much perhaps. They go around the next corner, but Lawrence gets away with it. There was racing room there, I think. It's just that Lawrence got a bit scared and lost control, and he's going down the inside for the chicane now. There's contact, and that's all Lawrence. That is all Lawrence's fault. A little impatient there, and he's gone for the move, but he wasn't alongside. So if that gets reported, Lawrence will find himself with a 5-second penalty, I think. H1 Rot back down to 5th place. And AC and rubbing his hands together in glee because he doesn't have a penalty, and as it stands he is in 3rd place in this race, although he is also yet to stop, so he is going to have to go onto the medium tyres before the end of this one. I don't know if the guys who stopped at the safety car, if they're going to get the hards to the end. I have no idea here. It's all up in the air. I don't know how long these tyres are going to last. Extraek and Robsu side by side now, and Williams and Robsu going wheel to wheel again, but this time the other Williams, and Extraek finds his way past and is now going after AP, who's still, by the way, driving without a front left end plate on that V-carb. He is doing a fantastic job. 7 seconds down on the rest of the pack, but they were 7 seconds down even before he had damage, so it's nothing to do with his damage. He is just driving the wheels off of that V-carb right now. H1 Rot, oh, right behind Lawrence, going for the move, and there's a little bit of there's definitely a little bit of red mist descending for a couple of drivers on this grid at the moment, and just keep it together, guys. Hold it together, come on. There's more to this. No one's doing any of these moves on purpose. No one's taking anyone out on purpose, as Primeval and Sumo now go wheel to wheel. Here comes the Mercedes driver. He's going to look to the inside. Enchilada and Jacko swapping places again. And yes, I completely agree with you, Palang in the chat. Sumo hits the wall though, and I think that's going to be more damage. It is indeed. Front left end plate gone for Sumo, although he must have already had that damage though. And Primeval gets a time penalty for pit lane speeding as well. And, well, his race has taken a nasty turn, I'm afraid to say, as H1 Rot and Lawrence contact again between these two. They are not happy with each other. H1 Rot has to give that position back. Ace is looking for a way past. The Ferrari's ghosted, so Aces can take full advantage into the Singapore Sling. Oh, and there's lag, and he's left the session. I hope he can get back in. That's a real shame for H1 Rot. But, in the meantime, he's going to drop further down, and that'll be music to the ears of Lawrence, who's been battling tooth and nail with that Ferrari for quite a while. And also AP, look at this, he's gained 3 seconds on those drivers thanks to all of this battling, and now here he is looking to take P6 after the Ferrari driver's disconnection. Extraek right behind as well. I'm just going to shoot H1 Rot another invite quickly. Excuse me, guys. Can I send him an invite? Is he in the group? I think so. I think so. Yeah, there he is. So I'll send him another invite. There we go. Okay. There we go, back to the racing. Extraek and AP going wheel to wheel. Why do I curse Sumo always? Yeah, I know, it always happens. I need to just stop paying attention to him as Alex goes clattering over the curb at turn 6 and nearly comes to bear with RJ. And RJ finds his way past, and Lawrence looking to get past Aces as well, as Extraek finds his way past the V-carb of AP, and that Williams is flying right now, although a big lock up there into that left-hander, but just about keeping it together. And, well, the hard tyres, I can reveal, at this stage are at about 25%. So if they do take them to the end, they'll be about 45% or so in wear. So it's very doable. They can definitely get those to the end. And Extrarech is going to be taking P6 here after the Ferrari of H1 Rot has disconnected. I hope he can get back in the session. He's had a great race so far until then. But, oh, Lawrence ghosted as well. What's happened to Lawrence? Oh, he disconnected as well. Oh my goodness. Well, he's back in the session now. Hopefully he can retake control of his car as Aces finally comes into the pit for a set of, well, I would say medium tyres, but this is Aces, so it might be softs. We're about to find out. He's coming into the pit lane. What tyres is he going on? It's the softs, of course it's the softs. It's Aces versus Kings. Of course he's not going to do the strategy, the right strategy. He's going to go for the the crazy strategy because it's Aces. Out he comes on the softs and he is going to have a very, very bad time in about 4 laps. Do I have... Yeah, I have his tyre wear data on my screen here, so I'll keep you updated on how quickly those softs are wearing over the next few laps. Robsu and H1 Rot going wheel to wheel, and Robsu getting past, but of course H1 Rot not in the session right now, as Extrarech getting past Lawrence as well for P4. Lawrence is back in the session, but Extrarech taking full advantage, and the Norwegian is up into the top 4 here. Alex G only 6.5 seconds up the road, but Extrarech is flying right now. Enchilada getting past the AI car as well. He's up to P8, and a lot of drivers who've had who started this race looking like they were going to have a very bad time, and have certainly had moments during this race, as AP with that front wing damage down the inside of the defending champion and into the top 5. What a move from APPF1, and he's looking to go for it as well. Oh, Lawrence says it's not letting him take back control. Oh no! Disaster. Disaster for EA, disaster for Lawrence, and well, I think he will get classified here, but probably only with half points, and that's a real shame for the defending champ. He's going to lose a ton of points thanks to that, and he is not going to be happy about that whatsoever. Robsu pulls to the inside to try and get up to P6, and he makes that move stick. And the Finnish driver who started this race down in 16th is now up to 6th place and still climbing, as Enchilada makes his way past as well. He's had a good recovery too, up to P7, as Aces makes his way past Sumo. H1 Rot gets back into the session finally. Will he have the same bug as Lawrence though, and not be able to take back control? That is the question. Lawrence, oh, he's retired in fact. He's retired and left the session, so well, now he's definitely not going to get any points. Lawrence, if you just left your AI out there, I know it would have caused difficulties for the race, but you still would have had some points. But Enchilada Dad now looking for the move on Robsu for P6. Let's have a quick look at the penalty situation. 3 seconds for everyone except Tia on 6, Jacko on 10, and Primeval on 16 at the moment. So this is a proper battle for position here, and Extrarech is catching Alex at a rate of knots. It's 4.8 now. Extrarech's last lap was 2 seconds faster than Alex's. Oh, Lawrence didn't do anything, it just retired on its own. Oh, okay, never mind then. No idea what's going on then with that car. Or with this game, to be honest. It looks like H1 Rot's back in the session, but maybe he's not. I have no idea. But I'm sorry about that, Lawrence. That sucks. That's not the way I wanted your race to end. You were flying until then. But anyway, Robsu has been passed by the Sauber of Enchilada Dad, and well, the Irishman doing very well. What a recovery. He looked like he was going to be down in the dumps in this race, down in sort of the bottom half of the grid, but here he is in 6th place and doing a fantastic job as Sumo and Tia, old rivals of APPF1, go wheel to wheel. Still side by side they go. Sumo going for an audacious move around the outside there. Surely that was never going to work. And well, they've both survived for now, but I'm sure Sumo will be back, although he does have 16 lap old hard tyres, so maybe not. Who knows? Alex G, just behind RJ still. He's got that DRS, and this was a much better lap from Alex, although he's looking to the inside. He can't quite get that done. Through turns 1 and 2 and 3 they go. And Exterek now. Well, their last laps, Exterek was only 4/10 quicker on that lap, but he's closing quickly enough that he can get his way onto that podium. Very close race for P2, you're right, Lawrence. Exterek could still get second place here, because he is, I believe, at the current rate, going to catch them before the end. So if he can get past RJ, he'll get his way onto second place as well. But AP currently running in a bit of a lonely 5th place. His last lap was a 33.5, but Enchiladas was a 32.6. So Enchilada is the faster driver, but AP doesn't have a track limits penalty, and that could be crucial to his race if he wants to finish in the top 5 here, which I'm sure he will want to. He would be ecstatic with that on his first race back in Tier 2. He'd be very, very happy. Alex G still just behind RJ, unable to make any sort of move. This is the closest battle on track at the moment, although Exterek now within 3 seconds, and he is flying his way to a podium as the Norwegian. He didn't have the greatest start to this race, and he was stuck behind his teammate for a very long time, with Primeval defending for his life against Exterek. But eventually he got past. He took advantage of a bit of a collision with Primeval and another driver. I think it was Robsu at the time. And he got his way past, and he's never looked back. And he is charging his way to a podium finish here. His first podium finish in APPF1, I believe it would be. Alex G just behind RJ still. Can't quite get that move done. He just doesn't have the overspeed on the DRS straights to get past this Aston Martin. Lawrence equals Russell. Nah, he didn't wait until the last lap. So although I don't want to say that, because Alex is in a Mercedes right now. I really don't want to curse him. I've already cursed Sumo today, and Alex is having a great race. AP now under pressure from Enchiladad. He's caught up. There is a 3-second penalty to his name, so he is going to have to pull that margin to the V-carb after he gets past. But he's going to be really fighting for that top 5. After what looked like it was going to be a terrible race. There's so many candidates for driver of the day today, by the way. A lot of position changes at once. Ace is getting past Krauser for P9, and Jacko getting past Tier for P11 in the meantime, while we were watching Alex and Exterek. The wear on those softs at the moment is 22% as H1 Rot into the pit for a new front wing and some soft tyres. He's going for the fastest lap, but he's going to lose a few positions from doing so. Yeah, he's down to P2. He will get the fastest lap, or will attempt to, as Alex and RJ go wheel to wheel. Alex trying to go down the inside for P2, but he's not able to do it. RJ stays ahead, but all the while, Exterek is catching up, and he's now almost in DRS range of these two, and we're going to get a grandstand finish for these last 2 podium positions at the end of this race. We've got RJ holding on to it at the moment, but Exterek is right behind. Sumo sets the fastest lap for now. As they head through the last few laps of this Grand Prix. Meliodas wins by a mile. Who cares about him? This is the fight for the other podium positions that we're interested in. Enchiladad is into P5, and he is pulling that 3 seconds to AP. He is doing a fantastic job out there. He's going to be very, very happy with this race. But Alex right behind the Aston Martin. goes deep into the final corner, but he's going to go to the inside here, and RJ's now going to be under pressure from Extrek. He needs to keep this position, and the American knows it, but he has to concede in the end. He's going to round the outside of turn 3. Alex with a bit of an oversteer on the exit. RJ, oh, there's a bit of contact maybe. Alex gets ahead, and RJ loses the position to Extrek. He's down to 4th place. AP's disconnected. Oh no, AP, get your way back into the session, man. Please, you don't deserve this at all. That's such a shame. But Extrek now into 3rd place, and it's 2nd place after penalties. Can he keep it there? RJ just behind, and he's going to be looking for that 2nd place as well. It's all about this battle for the podium now. H1 Rock getting his way past Primeval further back. And all the while, Enchiladadad is catching now, and Alex, if he's not careful, he could go down all the way to 5th place here, which would not be good for his race at all. After it looked like he would get a podium today, he's looking like he's going to get P4 after it all. But Enchiladadad could join the party here and perhaps have a chance at the podium if anything goes wrong between these three. It's Alex who leads the train at the moment, but Extrek looking to get that position. Aces gains another position. He's past the disconnected AP and up to P7. But Ace is now on 30% tyre wear on those softs. So actually, they haven't held up as badly as I thought they would. I thought it'd be much worse than that. So he's actually doing all right, Aces. And he's looking for a 6th place finish after it all, which, to be honest, I think he'd be quite happy with. Like I said, so many candidates for Driver of the Day today. Alex, Extrek, RJ, Enchiladadad, all candidates, I think. AP just by virtue of being AP. But Extrek around the outside of Alex. Alex goes very, very deep, and it sends Extrek deep as well. RJ senses the opportunity, can't quite capitalize. Extrek goes around the outside of Alex, though. Alex can't keep him behind, and now RJ sends it to the inside of the Mercedes as well. They're still side by side down towards Singapore Sling. RJ uses the overtake button. He's going down the inside here. Alex sweeps around the outside. What a move from Alex G. AP's back in the session, which is great to see, but he has dropped quite a few positions. And now, look who's joined the party. Enchiladadad could still get himself into 4th place here. Meliodas pits for fastest lap. Come on, man, do you really need to do that? Come on. You're 30 seconds clear and need a nerve. Don't get fastest lap as well. That's just mean. But RJ getting increasingly impatient here. He wants that 2nd place, but Extrek is now 1.3 ahead, and it's looking like that 2nd place is slipping away from the American. He'll still get himself onto the podium, but it might not be the 2nd place that he would have wanted, because I mean it's basically 1st place, let's be honest, because Meliodas doesn't count. It's 2nd place is 1st place today, and RJ is going to want back-to-back Singapore Grand Prix victories in Tier 2, but it's looking unlikely at the moment. He needs to get past Alex here. We're on to the penultimate lap of the race, but he's not close enough to make a move. Look at the overspeed, but it's not enough. He's lost too much time, and but Alex has gone very deep, and here comes RJ. Round the outside, he's going to go for the next corner. Alex is going to try and squeeze him out, and does. Oh, there's a huge moment for RJ, and he has bottled it. The American driver. It was looking like he would have a certain podium, and he has bottled it right at the end. He's down to P5, and Robsu might yet get past him. Oh, he's going down the inside, but thinks better of going for his teammate there. And in fact, Aces is in the hunt for a top 5 finish as well now. And in fact, Alex G is back in contention for the podium after that. RJ 8 seconds behind, and suddenly Enchiladadad and Alex are fighting for the last podium spot on the last lap. It will be after this one of this Grand Prix. Aces, oh, he's had a moment as well in the Haas, as he was trying to stay with these guys. I think he tried to make a move perhaps on Robsu, and it went slightly wrong, and he's going to have to try and catch back up. AP retires from the session. Oh no, that's not fair. That's not fair. He keeps disconnecting, and this time he's had the infamous bug where it retires you when you disconnect. That is so unfortunate. He's had a great race. He can have nothing but pride for how he's raced today. He's done fantastically, and a top 5 finish was cruelly taken from him by the disconnect. So hopefully he can sort that out by next time. Robsu with a big moment through turn 4. Alex G and Enchilada Dad fighting for that last place on the podium. The Irishman and the Ukrainian going for P3. Here we go, Enchilada. It's the final lap. Who's going to get it here? I think Extract gets driver of the day today, but these two desperately gunning for a podium. Jacko sets fastest lap, but that's never going to last. Meliodas is going to get it by a mile. But anyway, it's all about these two. Enchilada's going to get the DRS, doesn't quite get the exit out the hairpin he would have wanted. And he's heading down towards the next corner, but he can't get the move with the DRS. Alex just needs a good exit from the last few corners, and he's gonna get himself a podium here. Extarek, Meliodas wins the Grand Prix. Extarek is gonna finish P2. What a drive from him. But it's all about these two. Can Enchilada snatch it at the very last hurdle? Alex comes round the final corner, and he's gonna get it. It's a podium for Alex G. Enchilada just short in the end, but what a drive from him as well. All of these three drivers, Xtrek, Alex and Enchilada, what a drive from all three of them. RJ comes home a disappointing P5 in the end. Aces in 6th place with Robsu in P7, and then it's Krauser who's going to come home in P8, which I think he'll be happy with after all that. Tia in 9th place. H1 Rot's going to come home in P10. Who has the fastest lap? Yeah, Meliodas by a country mile, who would have guessed. H1 Rot across the line for P10. Sumo will be very disappointed with how this race has gone, but at least he's going to score some points. And Jack Halako coming home in 12th place as well. What a Grand Prix that was. Very, very entertaining. And as Jacko actually hasn't gone across the line yet. That could have been very, very bad, Jacko. If you DNF there, you wouldn't have been... you wouldn't have got it. But I think he would have still been fine. He would have still been classified ahead of Primeval, I think. But anyway, extra drive of the day from the game. I agree with that as well. What a drive from him. Meliodas comfortably winning the race, of course. Wow. Okay, I'll be right back. Excuse me, guys, it is Meliodas who wins the race by a wide margin, and an X-Trek, Alex, Enchilada Dad, RJ, Aces, Robsu, Krauser, Tia, H1 Rot, Sumo, Jacko, Primeval, AP, and then Lawrence, P-Bent, Tabo, and one more driver who I can't remember the name of, DNFing from the race. Sheep, of course. So there we go. Well, stick around. We're going to have interviews with the top three. Hopefully we can get X-Trek in as well. But, let's at least get Alex and Meliodas in. Okay, Alex is in the party. Apparently he's got a bail, so we'll interview him first. He's got somewhere to be. But Alex, on the podium in Tier 2 for the first time in what feels like a lifetime. It's great to have you back here. What a drive.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was an amazing drive. It was really good battling RJ, Aces as well at some points. I feel bad for Sumo. He also had pace to be here. Obviously, quite annoyed with the fact that we had a Red Bull just 25 seconds in the lead and then beating for fastest lap and still finishing 15 seconds ahead or whatever it was. But
oh, you're breaking up a bit, Alex. There we go, you're back now.
Yeah, good race overall, I think. Feel for Sumo. He should be here with me. Yeah.
Oh, well, congratulations. A very hard-fought podium. It looked like you were consigned to P4, but then there was a bit of a incident, perhaps, with RJ at turn 7. Could you talk us through that one in the closing laps?
I think that one was just a racing incident, in the sense of when he loses and goes against the wall. I'm not sure if he went against the wall, I think he did, but in that moment I'm not touching him. I think we try to keep it fair. Obviously I feel for RJ going against the wall, but my that in the race, during the race, I didn't think it was my fault. But obviously, I'll review that. If it is, I'll apologize. But either way, I am sorry to RJ. It was a very good battle with him, and I'm sorry he had that moment there.
Well, regardless, Alex, that was a fantastic drive from yourself. And congratulations on a very well-earned podium.
Thank you.
Was there? Were you worried about Enchilada in the last couple laps there? Did he ever look like he was going to get past? I think I saw you go wheel to wheel at turn 6 once in the last couple of laps, but it looked like you were always going to comfortably keep that P3.
Yeah. When we started lap 30, I felt I was in a good place to keep that P3. I think I had a bit more ERS than him. I tried to manage that as well. So there was a moment there where I thought, ooh, he might have the pace to overtake me. But then I was like, yeah, I'm confident keeping him behind. I was trying to get the most out of the corners, trying to slow him down as much as possible. So I was happy with.
Well, congratulations, Alex. Very, very well earned. And it's great to talk to you on the podium again.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you, Ghost.
Well, we'll come to our race winner, Meliodas. I mean, there's not really much to say, really, because you didn't really have much to do, other than the safety car restart, a couple of overtakes there, but got the lead into turn 1. And then it was all over.
Yeah, it's not my favorite track, but I try to push, and when I watch, I have the distance for pit and try to get the fast lap, maybe Leclerc on Australia. I say to my spot, I'm go to the box for the fast lap and try to take win and fast lap, because the pole position lost for 22 millim and double place, double trophy for this weekend.
Indeed. Well, congratulations. I mean, there's not really too much to ask you, because nothing really happened with you all race. But well, congratulations on the win, and yeah, congratulations. That's all I can say.
Thanks. Yeah, it's very. Maybe I don't training so much for this track, because I say you is not one of my favorite. I hate this track because it's very difficult to overtake, and the race is so quiet. You cannot try to overtake so much. You have a much safety car. Virtual safety car is so no use. But is a city track. Maybe on Monaco is this, Las Vegas no, but this track and other have so no use to race, and for the caster is very very difficult. Ever commentate the race when I have one driver is so fast, or have 2 3 and arrive maybe signs in last year 1 2 3 and stop. It's very difficult to overtake in this track, but I try to not take a DNF, only this.
Exactly. Sometimes that's all you can do around Singapore, but you did much more than that today. So well done, Meliodas.
Thank you.
See you next week.
See you.
Well, there we go. That is the Singapore Grand Prix. I already said my driver of the day, X-Trek, but Alex and Enchilada Dad get special mentions as well. They both had fantastic drives. RJ as well, up there as well. Just a mistake at the end cost him that podium, but fantastic races from all 4 of those drivers. But anyway, thank you all ever so much for watching. This has been Tier 2. Round number 3 of season 12, and we'll see you next week for round 4, which will be in Bahrain. So we'll see you then. Goodbye, everyone.